Today is Saturday, which yet again means that it is Park Run Day, and today we are off to Tewkesbury Parkrun. So Tewkesbury Parkrun is located to the north of Cheltenham in Tewkesbury, and it is all around the Vineyards, but it's the winter course this time because it's been flooded. So we're doing the winter course. It's a 5-lap course rather than a 4-lap course, and it cuts out just one of the little sections, which I'll go through in just a moment. The course is 100% on grass, so I do definitely recommend trail shoes, as you will look like Bambi on ice on at the top section of the hill. And we also had a section where we were coming down from the hill and we almost went flying because it is very slippy at the moment just because of the weather. I'd probably class the course as a fairly hilly course because you do have to do the same hill 2 times on every lap, so overall you're going up and down the hill 10 times in total. However, despite all of this, it is a dog friendly course and a buggy / pram friendly course, which I'm surprised about, but maybe in the summer months when it is a bit drier, obviously it's a lot easier to run with your pram. Dogs, there's loads of space for dogs, so that's fine. But with a pram and a buggy at the moment, I'd say it's quite boggy, so be careful, especially if you're pushing someone around. You don't want them to go flying out and landing straight in a big puddle of mud. It is also a very, very quiet run with, I think it's probably my second quietest run I've done behind Zaloni Jar. So there's only 51 runners in total. So if you are looking for a really high finish position, or you just like quieter park runs in general, I definitely recommend this one for that. But if you've got this far and you're wondering what a park run is, it is essentially a 5k run ran by a group of volunteers. When you get to the end of the run, you'll be given a finish token. You scan that with your own personalised barcode and you'll be given your own official position and a park run time. Now looking at a quick summary of the course, so here it is. It's a 5-lapper all on grass, definitely not 1VP because of the grass. You can see up there in the top left hand side the 5 times of the elevation where you're going up the hill, and you do start actually at the top of that hill as well. So it's a fairly challenging one, to be honest, not one where you're going to get a very quick time, but an overall elevation of 51 meters in total. Right, and now let's take a look at the course in a little bit more detail then. So as I was saying, this is the winter course, and you're going to start off here just next to the outside gym and Vineyards playground. You make your way downhill to begin with before turning left. There was actually a small patch of sort of concrete there, so you could probably class that as about 5 meters of concrete each lap, which you can run across. And once you got to the center of the Vineyards field, you're then going to turn left, head your way up the hill. This is the steepest part of the course where you're heading up this hill before turning right. At this point, it is very, very muddy and slippy when you're turning, so do make sure that you're watching your feet and you're not going to fly over. Then once you've done that U-turn around there, this bit is quite a steep downhill straight after, so be careful here because this is where I nearly slipped over. Then once you get to the bottom of there, you're going to make your way all the way up towards the River Swillgate. You're going to keep coming around, doing a lap of the perimeter of the field. You're going to turn left at that far end, which is the most eastern point, then head your way back down to the southern point. This is all flat at this section. Then once you get to the southern point, you turn left again still all flat before you get back to that hill where you have to make your way up the hill. As this one's a little bit steeper this time, it's a bit of a quicker incline before doing another U-turn, and again it's a very slippy area. You find that you're basically ice skating around that bend. Then once you've done that, you're going to make your way all the way to the most southern section of the park. Again, go around the perimeter, make your way to the left hand side. You're going to complete that lap another 4 times, and then once you've done that, you are going to just make your way off towards the tree where that is where the finish line is. So that's the course, and now let's take a look at the park run records here at Tewkesbury Parkrun. So the fastest male is Phil Beastall with a time of 15 minutes and 22 seconds. Incredible time, and I reckon that was done during the summer. The fastest female is Caitlin Shepherd with a time of 17 minutes 44. Again, a really speedy time, with the average number of runners being 82. Very low average, same as Thornbury actually last week, and an average time of 29 minutes and 47 seconds. And now let's take a look at my stats. So I've completed 19 park runs so far. This will be number 20, and my best finish position was 4th in Zaloni Jar. My fastest time was Summerdale Pavilion with a time of 22:32, and then my other fastest times were Evesham Riverfront, Chipping Sodbury, Alexandra, and 5 Arches Park runs with a time of 23:25 there at the bottom. So that is the one we're trying to beat. And as you can see, it is a really quiet park run with just the 5 people there ahead of us. The run director off that left hand side about to start us off as well. So we'll be going 3, 2, 1. We are off, and Tewkesbury Parkrun has started. As you can see, we started sort of midway up the hill on that east section, and we are heading our way downhill straight away to begin with, and then we'll be turning left. But as you can see, all on grass, at the moment. Not too boggy in this section at all, to be honest. This was more of just a nice little run down, and then we are going to turn left here and head our way off to this left hand side. You can see maybe on this left hand side in a second there's a little bit of concrete, and that is about all of the concrete that you're going to get from this run, to be honest. The rest of it is going to be completely grass. So we're now going to run to the end, and then we're going to start making our way up the hill. And now we are turning to make our way up the hill for the first time. As you can see, it's a fairly steep one, to be honest. It's a quick incline, but once you get up to that top, it's then a decline for about another half of the run. So you can see here, this is the U-turn section, and this is very slippy. You can see how muddy it is there on the ground, and it is also slippy just at this little bit after, so be careful here. You might see in the video actually where I do slip forwards on this section, but we're doing quite well at the moment. So we're just going to make our way now around the big rugby field, and then we'll make our way back towards that hill after we've done that. And there we go, so we've done half of the field now, heading our way back towards the hill where we started. As you can see, this section is all flat, and to be honest, if you didn't have trail shoes in this section, you probably wouldn't really notice too much of a difference, because it wasn't really boggy in this section. It was just grassy and maybe a little bit slippy, but apart from that, you should be alright. In this section here as well, there is a little bit of mud in the centre here, so you can just sort of run around the right or the left hand side. It's up to you, but I try with this lap to make sure that you're going at the right pace. You don't want to go off too quickly, but I feel that these sort of runs you can go off too quickly, and then you'll struggle at the hills on the 4th and 5th lap. So I definitely say take the first lap a little bit easier than you would on all the other ones, just to judge the pace that you can keep, and then after that you can either pick it up or slow it down a little bit. As you can see, that is the lap of the rugby field done, and this is the second hill. Well, it's the same hill really, but it's the second time you're going up this hill. This section here is the muddiest section of the whole bit. You can see the guy in front of us there just trying to keep his balance, but he has managed to stay up, which is good. I don't actually see anyone fall over, which is good as well, but there is definitely the potential to falling over if you don't have trail shoes. And even if you've got trail shoes, still be careful in that section, because I had them and I was still finding it really slippy as you ran through there. But we're now going back around this final corner before heading off to where we started. You can see the tree there just ahead, and there's the Tewkesbury Abbey there in the background as well. I didn't actually have the sign on the day, so I got a photo just outside the Tewkesbury Abbey instead. We're now heading our way back down the hill, and you'll see on the right hand side in just a second, this is where we started, and that's where all the volunteers are, and also where you will finish the run. But let's move into lap number 2. We've done the first lap in 4:48, very happy with that. Let's hope we can try and keep up to this pace for the last few laps and try and get under 25 minutes. But whilst we do make our way up the hill for that second time, if you are enjoying this video and you do want to see some more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also give me a like. I really appreciate all of the support on the channel, and let me know down in the comment section below if you've done this park run before, or which is your favourite park run. There we go again, you can see just in front the guy slipping over. I was the same really, I was just flailing with my hands, just trying to stay up and make sure that I didn't fall, and then on the way down be careful as well, like I said the lap before. And now we're heading back down that straight. A really nice day, as you can see, very sunny in the end, and it was actually the same weekend as the Cheltenham races, which was obviously last weekend, so it was very busy in and around Cheltenham. But I'm surprised the Tewkesbury Parkrun wasn't as busy because of all the people that are travelling across to the races, but I suppose they probably haven't woken up yet from the night before. So we're doing quite well at the moment. Didn't actually notice any dogs or pushchairs, so I definitely at the moment, like I said earlier, don't recommend bringing those at the moment. Just while it is really boggy and muddy, I'd definitely recommend going to one with hard standing. Otherwise you're not going to get very far with the wheels and or you're going to have to take your dog for a big clean in the bath straight after. But we're just completing lap number 2 of that rugby field and heading our way back off to that steep hill for the second time. And here we go, heading into that second hill. If you want any information on all the elevation and things like that as well, I'll leave a link to my Strava in the description as well, so you can check that out. There's me tiptoeing over the mud to try and get away from there. And now we're heading back to the flat before completing lap number 2. And that is lap 2 complete. 9 minutes and a half is what our time is right now. So we're doing quite well at the moment. 2 laps down, 3 more to go. As I said before, this is actually in the summer a 4-lap course. This is the winter course. So with the 4-lap course, at the end here, instead of turning left, you're going to head your way forward and then right, and basically doing a perimeter of the big field over there in the distance that you can see. But obviously, as it is winter and the weather has not been great at all, they've had to move it across because it's quite boggy. You can see on the right hand side, actually, it's a big puddle there in the middle of the field. So we try and keep on this little bit of hard standing while we can, back onto the grass, and let's see if we can get under that 25 minutes. But we are now coming up towards lap 3 of the football and rugby field. As you can see in front of us, it's pretty much empty playing field right now. No one really running in front of us. We just need to try and catch up with the people in front. But as you can see, this really nice open field as well. Really quiet park run for those that don't really like it to be too busy, because I've been to quite a few now. Some have like 500-600 people, and it can be really congested and things like that. What I quite like about these ones is it's really open. You can run where you'd like to, and you've not got any worry of tripping someone else up or slowing anyone else down. So I do really like this sort of run where it is a lot quieter. The volunteers are all really nice and cheerful as well, and all really local, I'm guessing, to Tewkesbury Parkrun. So yes, really enjoyable one. And there we go, lap 3 complete. Time of 14 minutes and 17 seconds right now, so we're just a little bit below time if you want to try and get on the leaderboard, but I doubt we will do, as this is such a slow park run compared to some of the other ones. But if we can keep this up, we should be able to get under 25 minutes, which is my usual aim, as I've said previously. And the parking is actually just on the right hand side from here as well, and it's about like 2-3 minute walk, if that, from the parking to the start line. So again, another great reason to do this park run. But there's also obviously public transport as well, but I'll go through all the tips and tricks at the end of this video. And here we go, we're challenging that hill for the 4th time, and we'll see. I think this might be the time where I slip forwards on the way down, so I'll have to see, because I've not actually seen this footage since doing the run. So we're doing the U-turn now, trying to keep as wide as possible if you don't want to slip down anywhere. And here we go, let's see if this is where I slip. Oh no, it looks like we're okay. It looks like we did all right there. Maybe it might not show too much on the camera because of the extra stability of the GoPro, but I do definitely slip in that section at some point, so we'll have to check it out on the next lap and see whether you can spot me slipping. But there we go, we have completed the football and rugby pitch for that 4th time. Tailwalkers there on this right hand side. Thank you very much everyone for volunteering. And now we are heading our way back towards the hill for the 4th. And then we've got only one more time to actually complete this hilly section, thankfully. This one, you can definitely start to feel it in your quads. I tried to get a little bit of a run up as well, so that I could sprint up it. And then at this point, look, you can literally see just how muddy and slippy it is there on the ground. I'm looking at the floor more than looking in front of me at that sort of section, just to make sure I just stay on my feet. And there we go, that is the 4th lap done. I believe that one was just slightly quicker than the 3rd lap, so we can start to pick up the pace now, because we know that we've only got 1 lap to go, and once we've done that, we can have a break, go and get some food and things like that. The weather definitely held up for us, perfect blue skies, which is what you like to see, and we've only got that hill to do 2 more times now before we're going to head towards the finish line. And here we go, the final push up of this incline. And for the last time, we have to try and skate around this U-turn. And we'll have to check now whether it was the final time that we almost slipped down. Let's have a look here. You can see the guy in front of us slipping around there. Are we going to slip on the way down here? We'd be in this section. No, it must have been one of the previous sections, but it didn't make it look like a slip at all because the GoPro must have held its stability. And we've just got to do this final big lap one more time. We're currently sat in 8th position, so hopefully if we can hold on to this, we should finish in 8th, and maybe that'll be our second, I think, best finish position. So we've not come 8th before, so that'll be a new one ticked off of the achievement list. I'm definitely going to have to come back to this run though and try it out in the summer to see whether I can beat my time or not, because the fact that it was wet definitely did not help with the speed whatsoever. But we're doing all right at the moment, 22 minutes and 9 seconds. It doesn't look like we're going to beat any of our times on the leaderboard, unfortunately, so I don't think we'll be knocking any off there. But if we get under 25 minutes, that is my target for every run, and I'll be a happy bunny if we do manage to do that. And I was wrong, there was a doggo on the course this time. There they are on the right hand side. Hopefully they didn't roll around too much in the mud, otherwise that'll be a big cleanup after the run. We're heading now towards the final time to go up this hill, and then it's a sprint finish to the end. And yes, that it will be the end of Tewkesbury Parkrun, but definitely recommend doing it. And also we are off to Norway next week, so we get to do our first Norwegian park run. That should be a bit of fun, and then hopefully we'll do a Finnish one as well in Helsinki. So that'll be great. 2 different countries ticked off the tourism list as well. Here we go, heading up this hill for the final time. Quick sprint finish. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to pull it back to become 7th, as the person in front of us has pulled away. Just got to stay up on this section. You can see as well as the run went on, it got a lot muddier throughout all the times. But here we go, our final sprint finish, 23:50. Can we beat 25 minutes? And it is all downhill from here. Tewkesbury Abbey there in that background as well, giving you that picturesque finish. Just going to sprint down here, and then we're going to turn off to the right by the tree. You can see the person in front of us there heading towards that finish funnel. They've done well. See what time and position we can get. I believe we're currently 8th, so we'll see what time we get, and we get a time there of 24:23 as we come through the finish funnel with a position of 8th. Very happy with that run. And that is Tewkesbury Parkrun complete. That's the 3rd T that we've done, along with Thornbury and the old Showfield Parkrun. So got lots of T's ticked off that alphabet here challenge now. But this is one that I definitely recommend not to do for a PB. Just go out, enjoy yourself. You may get a bit muddy as well in the winter months, but in the summer months when it dries up, it's probably going to be a lot more of a different run and a lot quicker as well, but definitely not one for your PB. As you can see as well, it was a really quiet run too. Loads of locals do turn up to this event as well, and all of the volunteers were great too. So thank you very much to all of the volunteers who ran the event, because without them, we would not be able to actually run this event at all, and it would have to be cancelled. So thank you very much to all of you supporting us, cheering us on as we struggled through the mud and managed to get to the finish line. What I did quite like about the course though was the views. You got a lovely view of Tewkesbury Abbey and Tewkesbury town, and also across the playing fields that we were running around, and the weather was perfect on the day too, nice and sunny, but not too hot so that you were sweating your whole way around. But as usual, we'll take a quick look now through some of the pinch points. So number 1, obviously the hills. It was a little bit hilly, had to do them 5 times as well, which was not ideal. Number 2, you had the very grassy and muddy course, which was not ideal because it meant that you were slipping around and sliding once you got to the top of that hill, taking a few seconds off of your time. And then finally, the 3rd main one is probably the bends, because we had a few U-turns there as well, and U-turns obviously slow you down, and then it's hard to pick back up that pace to get to your pace. So those are the 3 main pinch points for this course, and why it's not a great one for your PB. And as usual, the most important part of the video, the tips and tricks section on how to get there and where to go after you finish that park run. So to begin with, we always go through public transport, because that's the best way to get to a park run event, as you are reducing the carbon footprint on the planet. So let's start off with the public buses. So there are various different public buses that you can get to Tewkesbury, and they all stop off at the Tewkesbury bus stop, which is here. And the nearest train station to the park run is Ashchurch Station for Tewkesbury, but that's a little bit of the way out, so you probably have to get either a taxi or a bus from there into Tewkesbury. But if you can't get there by public transport, you can also drive there, and they do have parking at the Tewkesbury Rugby/Football Club, and that is all completely free. And then also, if that's full, which I highly doubt it will be, there is the Vineyards car park also on the way up, where you can pay there. I think it's only like 20-40p, it's not too expensive. if you do park there instead. And then if you enjoy a post-parkrun coffee after the event, you can also head over to the Tewkesbury Rugby Club, which is literally where the parking is, 2-minute walk from the finish line. So nice and close, can't complain. And now let's take a look at my stats. So as you can see, not much has changed. We've now completed 20 park runs. Our best finish position stays in 4th, but that was our second best finish position. So if you do want to try and get a better finish position than you have got, I definitely recommend visiting Tewkesbury. Our fastest time still remains in Somerdale Pavilion with a time at 22:32, and it goes all the way down to 5 Arches there with a time of 23:25. So that is it, Tewkesbury Parkrun complete. But if you are a local and you do run this course often, do make sure to let us know down in that comment section below. Are there any other tips and tricks that you know? There is also toilets as well near Gloucester Road as well, so toilets are fairly close to the start as well. But also, if you like me and you enjoy watching all of these parkrun videos, let's go and check out Thornbury Parkrun, which we did last week. Quite a similar one actually to Tewkesbury Parkrun. Or you've also got all of the other park runs which I did in my park run playlist. And next week we are off to Oslo in Norway to complete the Toyen Park Run, so I'm looking forward to that one. However, the temperature is going to be very cold, so wish me luck, and I'll see you all in the next one.